All right. Hello, YouTube. So we're in my garage. It's pretty messy. Lots of projects going on here. So, yeah, I have redesigned this hop essential oil thing. So if you didn't watch the last video, these boxes, the reason I like these boxes to put the hops in is the narrowness of them. So when you're trying to freeze, it will freeze, it doesn't have as much here to go through, right, to freeze. And that seems to be a problem when you're trying to freeze hops. So two of those boxes are inside this thing here. The element's on as hot as it can go. And what's starting to happen, you can see the tube there, right there is where the steam ends. And we're going along pretty good here. So when you do this type of setup, what you're doing is you're trying to get essential hop oil. And down here, this is where all the steam and stuff, oh, I should start over here. Steam starts here, right? You got a hot plate there. This is a canner. Steam comes around slowly down through there. This is a condensing unit. So what you do is you put cold water through the outer jacket, and the inner jacket goes through those little bubbles and down here and condenses down here. What happens when you do that is you separate it into the water and the oil. So now you fill this little container here, take the tube out and you fill it with water. And I don't know if you can see where the water level is right there. And there's that little thing, that little spout, right? Once you go above that little thing, the spout will see down. Okay, I'll go right there. There's a tube down there that connects. Water comes up there and drops down there. So you can fill it up only that far, and then it'll go down that spout. Now that doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to people, but what I'm doing is, you see water floats, oil floats on water, and we're going to get the essential oil. It's going to drop down on there, and it's going to sit right at that level, just underneath that black thing. It'll sit there floating while the water will be forced up this little tube, down the spout, and out there. Oops, out there. Yes, that's just a little waste spray can cap. And this is yeah, kind of a primitive setup in a way, but it does a really good job of just collecting the oil. And once the whole thing starts going, you are able to make a lot of hops into a very small amount. Now you might see this rain barrel here, and you might be wondering what that is. Well, you see the hot gases come through here and through those little bubbles. Around the outside of those bubbles is cold water. That cold water is being pumped. See that little holes going there? Water going through it? The pump down there, yes, that's 110 volts into there. A submersible pump. Just a little tiny submersible pump. Yeah, don't make one at home or something. All right, so the water comes up through this channel right up there into the tube, goes this way and out down this way. So when you make these things, the coldest spot sits over here. The hottest spot sits next to where your boiler is, right? This is kind of a boiler. And so your return is right here. So the return line goes next to the hottest thing where the boiler is. And the input line, which is down here, comes from underneath the wood into there, goes into there. Yes, there's a little hole through there. And that goes over here, meaning that the coldest spot will be at the very end. So that's your condensation. Why such a big barrel of water, right? Because I can. The second reason for this big 45-gallon drum of water is I used to work at a place, and we found we were using a silo of water to cool, and a silo of water to cool boiling. We were cooling down 20,000 liters at a time, and a silo of 60,000 liters of water can cool down 20,000 liters of water from boiling, and it can bring it down to a reasonable temperature, like hand warm, warm enough that you can put your hands in it. You can do that all day long and barely rise a degree or two. So my theory, I don't know if it works, but my theory is this barrel of water shouldn't heat up too much during the day. I'll measure it yet. Okay, thank you, YouTube. That is making essential hop oil.